Shalom, 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 Yasharel, shalom. Hey, I hope everybody is having a great day. Um, I jumped on here today because as we continue to move on, we should be focusing on self-development. And in that, my question for you all is, are you preparing your temple? Are you preparing your temple for the Ruach of the Most High to dwell within you, for you to hear stronger in the heart and in the mind from the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. No one knows when Yahweh will uh, call upon you to do his will. The question becomes more of, are you clean enough for his Ruach to dwell within you? Are you clean enough to be able to hear him? Now, to give a better reference to what I'm saying here, is like even within the New Testament or the new renewed covenant or the old covenant, that everybody like to call old covenant, but the whole scripture is a covenant within itself, but that's another story. However, there are several scriptures and more in there, but I give a few where it talks about Yahweh dwelling within you. Like in First Corinthians 3:16, know ye that you are the temple of Yahweh, that the Ruach, Yahweh, dwells within you, the Spirit of Yahweh dwelling in you. That in Second Timothy 1:14, that good things which was committed unto you, guard by the Ruach HaKodesh, which dwells in us. Luke 17:21, neither shall they say, lo here or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you. Ephesians 3:16, that he would grant you according to the riches of his glory to be strengthened with the might by his Ruach in the inner man. John 14:17, even the Ruach Ema, the Ruach of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it sees him not, neither knows him. But you know him, for he dwells within you and shall be in you. Now, to understand whom the world cannot receive, because the world will not walk in his instructions. The question is, will you? Now, the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, is a living example during this time when he walked upon this earth. Now, he was with the Most High at the beginning of creation, but he was sent down to become man within a sinful nation and a sinful world. All these people that's been going against the word of the Most High, doing evil amongst the world. He was born within a sinful nation that stopped doing the will of Yah, and he was in a sinful world that has been controlled by Hasatan, by Satan himself. But the Messiah was a living example, and he showed the blueprint that we can do what he has done if we clean our temples. And to show the example of the Messiah temple, his body being clean and prepared for the Most High, we can find that in Luke. When we go to Luke, around Luke 2:22, we find that his parents followed and walked in the Torah, which is always the beginning stage, because the scriptures tell us, teach them in the way that they should go, so that when they get older, they will not fall from it. And they did that very thing. So when we read in there, and when the days of her cleansing, according to the Torah of Moshe, the instructions of Yahweh were completed, they brought him to Jerusalem to present him to Yahweh. Now, to understand that first verse, she was walking in Torah, because when we go to Leviticus 12, it talks about the purification after childbirth. So it talks about how long she has to be away from the temple, because she will be considered unclean. And when you go back and read that, you will see for every male child that is born unto a woman, she is to be away from the temple 33 days, 33 days. And it's double if she has a female or has a daughter, it doubles. Now, Luke 2 and 23. As it has been written in the Torah of Yahweh, the instructions of Yahweh, every male who opens the womb shall be called set apart to Yahweh. They belong to him. You'll find it in Exodus 13:2, Exodus 13:12, Exodus 13:15. Luke 2 and 24, and to give an offering according to what is said in Torah, or the instructions of Yahweh, a pair of two turtle doves or two young pigeons. Now, this sets the first stage of Yah's instructions and the development of the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, and the beginning of preparing his temple, because they walked in the instructions, they dedicated him to the Most High. She fulfilled her roles. She did not go into the temple right after birth. She made sure she was clean, being a living example for her son that she was carrying. Her newborn, her new son that she just had, father was doing the same thing. Now, when we look further into the chapter, if you read the rest of 2 Luke 2:25 to 38, you will see that um, a man was given, he was filled with the Ruach. He was blessed to see the Savior as a child before his death. And he later prophesied and continued the prophecy that was found in Isaiah 42 and 6 and Isaiah 49 and 6, which was showing that a light for unveiling unto the nations and to the esteem for the people of Yasharel. But we can talk about that at another time. At this point, we can see that as a child, he was being prepared the right way, walking in the instructions of the Most High. Now, we can see later on in that chapter where the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, at the age of 12, we can see what he's doing in there as he continues to prepare himself. So when we look at Luke 2:41 through 52, he says, and his parents went to Jerusalem every year to the festival, or for the feast of Pesach, following the Torah. And when he was 12 years old, they went into Jerusalem according to the custom of the feast, Torah. And when they had accomplished the days, as they returned, The child Yahushua stayed behind in Jerusalem, and his parents did not know it. But thinking he was in the company, they went a day's journey and were seeking him among the relatives and friends. And not having found him, they returned to Jerusalem seeking him. And it came to be after 3 days that they found him in a set apart place, sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions. We see here at a young age, at 12 years old, he's seeking the truth. He's seeing what's being said. He's asking questions in reference to the instructions that he's being taught. And all who heard him was astonished at his understanding and answers. And having seen him, they were amazed. And his mother said to him, Son, why have you done this to us? See, your father and I have been anxiously seeking you. And he said unto them, Why were you seeking me? Did you not know that I had to be in the matters of my father? They didn't understand what he was saying at that time. And he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was subject to them. But his mother kept all these matters into her heart. But in that time that he was there, you'll see in Luke 2:52, and Yahweh increased and Yahushua increased in wisdom and stature, in favor with Elohim and men, with Yahweh and men. He grew in wisdom. His stature grew. He strengthened. He was strengthened in favor with the Most High because he was preparing his temple. He was learning the instructions. He was inserting the instructions within him. And there's other verses that will show and prove that he was continuing on with the walk. You will see other verses in there where he's participating in feast days. He's participating in Hanukkah, the Feast of Lights, or uh, Hanukkah, when he was found on Solomon's porch. You will see that he was honoring the Shabbat. But those are things that we can go on at a later time. The question is, are you willing to build your temple and grow in favor with Yahweh? Because the only way to do it is to walk in his instructions so that you can be filled with his spirit, so that you can be prepared to fight and handle the challenges that will come in your way when that season comes. When that season comes where your temptation is met, will you defeat that temptation? Will you defeat the devil when he comes? Will you con- will you defeat the other spirits that he has among him that tempts you at desires of your heart that is not of the truth? So you don't know the time and the place when the Most High is going to call upon you to do work for Him. Is your temple clean enough for you to hear that? Now, that work could be within your business. That work could be within you teaching others. That work could be in you giving a message to others. That work could be in someone that's a shepherd, an apostle, somebody that's a teacher. It can be in anything. But have you cleansed your temple from the worldly things so that you can hear him strongly? We find that the Messiah himself was called when he turned 30 to do the will of the Most High. And what happened when he was called? He was tempted. Hasatan came in and tempted him. 40 days and 40 nights. He was fasting and he tempted him to test his heart. Was he there for the Most High? And what did the Messiah do? He threw the words, the instructions of the Most High at Hasatan, defeated him. He left them for a season. But can you do that? Are you prepared to do that? Can you even do that right now? Can you look at yourself and tell you and see if your temple is clean? Have you been getting warnings, messages, dreams that a calling has come to you? Are you around the right people that will keep your temple clean or help you clean your temple? Or are you around people that's maintaining filth within your temple? The word of the Most High was so strong in the Messiah that he told them on the third day. He told them 3 days, in 3 days, he will be judged, he will be beaten, he will die and rise on the third day. And what happened? He was caught and judged on the first day. The second day, he was beaten. And on the third day, he was placed upon that tree. He gave up his Ruach and he rose on that third day. Read the scriptures. Read the scriptures. Get yourself strong. Get yourself ready for this season. Get yourself ready to fight because no man knows the day and the hour of the return of the Messiah, of Yahushua HaMashiach. Are you clean enough to be collected and taken to the place in which Abba Yah is taking his children? Will you be left in the forest? Will you be knocking at the door? Will you be begging and pleading, saying you've done this and you've done that, and the Messiah looks at you and said, I never knew you? You can turn things around by going back to the Torah, looking at the instructions. Don't let these brands out here cost you the kingdom. Because you can have a better life while you are alive this day and get to the temple, get to the kingdom when it returns. Allow yourself to learn the instructions of the Most High. Clean your temple. Let the kingdom dwell within you. Walk strong until the return of the Most High. Can you fulfill the quest when or the call when He calls you? Or are you even clean enough to hear the whisper of His voice when He's calling you? Or are you too entertained by the worldly things that's keeping you dirty? Oh, you can clean the outside of you all day, but the inside of you, just like he told the Pharisees, the outside of this cup looks good, but the inside of you is filthy. He told them that their temple that's inside of them is filthy. Are you ready to make that change? Shalom.